3 times. 4 times. Doing gang things. Living super clean. That done came up. Can't control us. 1 time for the men doing cane thing. Dead fresh to the T, living super clean. 3 times for my folk that done came up. 4 times cause the man can't control us. 1 time for the men doing cane thing. Dead fresh to the T, living super clean. 3 times for my folk that done came up. 4 times cause the man can't control us. Look at you done came up now. Get it how you live, mess the game up now. Ain't messing with yoga, but get the flame up. Hey, used to be Toby, but got your name back now. I see ya, paid under pressure. 25 lighters got them all on the dresser. If it ain't for you then. If you a lame or a sucker, wanna dress you then. Grown up now, bump the childish ways. Got a wife and a bunch of kids to raise. Punch a clock side, hustle or a business you endure to ensure that all the bills is paid. Slow clap for your homeboy, could've turned out like your homeboy. Being on the same block, cooking up the same rock on the cell block lot with your homeboy. But no, you had vision, you had gold. Brand new you on the old time road, take care. Home where you bust your low. Black men don't cheat, screaming bunty ho. Real men talk, real king ways. Still in captivity, but minds ain't slave. Got a little wisdom while you PD grade. Giving out the knowledge on the stoop these days. 1 time for the men doing cane thing. Dead fresh to the T, living super clean. 3 times for my folk that done came up. 4 times cause the man can't control up. 1 time for the men doing cane thing. Dead fresh to the T, living super clean. 3 times for my folk that done came up. 4 times cause the man can't control up. 1 time for the folk that have moved up. Even if you had the slow start screwed up. Used to gang bang, now homie brewed up. Had a little plan, I had them blew up. Look at you like a man right now. Dressed to the T, smelling like a grand right now. And you ain't got nothing from a handout now. Just faith and hard work, gets it planned out now. You could've took a bunch of dusty roads. The hand dealt with a bunch of cards to fold. To stay hot while the world is freezing cold. The same plot, but the story's never old. Slow clap for your kinfolk. Could've been asking what your info. Prosecutor could be trying to do you in for the 2020 twins, so you passing out the info. But no, you had purpose, you had plans. I ain't throwing nothing, I'ma say these bands won't impress y'all, don't need no fans. That ain't my God, who is that man? This real men talk, real king ways. Still in captivity, but minds ain't slave. Got a little wisdom while you peak these grades. Giving out the knowledge on the stoop these days. 1 time for the men doing cane thing. Dead fresh to the T, living super clean. 3 times for my folk that came up. 4 times cause the man can't control up. 1 time for the men doing cane thing. Dead fresh to the T, living super clean. 3 times for my folk.
Shalom and shalom, sisters and cousins, and praise the Lord. Saints, it's your favorite housewife, Miss Mono. Shalom and shalom. How are you all this evening? Yamaya, shalom, sis. Thank you so much for joining me. Thank you to everyone joining me. If you're on the IG, please head over to the YouTube. You can join us at Miss Mono's World or at Monologue Magad. We would love to have you. Shout out to my audience on the Saya TV. I hope you're enjoying your evening as well. Listen, stay on the Saya TV. Pick up the phone, right? Head over to the YouTube or Facebook and join us in the chat. Monologue Magad over to the side over here, ladies and gentlemen. Oh, look at the whole screen. Okay. Once again, my husband, everybody. Thank y'all so much for joining me. Listen, I know I don't get to thank you guys during the show, but I definitely wanted to take a moment to thank everyone that has donated to the efforts here at the House of Mono. I don't know if you can tell or not, but we have a new camera now. We are making improvements. Let me just add that Monologue Magad paid for this camera out of his pocket. So please, please, please help me show him that, you know, he is not spending his money on me in vain, everyone. House of Mono. All right, y'all. So like, share, subscribe in case you didn't. Pull on up, like, share, subscribe. A few things I wanted to talk about today. I had one thing planned, but then no, that's not gonna happen. So what I'm going to do is tie in our conversation on the fruit of the spirit in our other conversations that we're gonna have about some current events, hot topics, stuff like that. Um, so yeah, we're gonna make that all work just right now. Just a few more housekeeping things to talk to y'all about, and then we're going to get right into that. I know you all have heard, maybe you're waiting to the last minute to buy your tickets, your airplane tickets, get your rental cars. However, you plan on making your way down to Atlanta to be part of the F3 Fringe Up Family Fest. Do not linger much longer. Today is the 13th. F3 is on the 30th. You guys you don't even have 20 days left. Do you understand this? The countdown is on. If you have not secured your tickets yet, please head over to www.3, like the number 3, mgmusic.com. Tickets are $10 online, 20. That's right, 20. They double at the door, okay? Kids getting free under 12. We do have like unlimited kid zone wristbands for them. So don't worry, they will be occupied. You're not going to have to worry about trying to entertain them and enjoy the show. They will be fully entertained. www.3, like the number 3, mgmusic.com. All right. Once again, I am the lovely Miss Mono, just in case you're new here. If you have not, or you are not following me, you have not subscribed to my YouTube channel, please do so. Even if you're at Monologue McGad right now, that's okay. When this is over, head over to at Miss Mono's World. Hit the subscribe button. There's content on there that you won't see anywhere else. My real life content, my day in the life vlogs, stuff like that. So like, share, subscribe, follow, all that good stuff at Miss Mono's World. And I cannot forget the man in my life that makes it all possible. If you are not following, please head over to your socials and give that man a follow. All right, so the first thing I wanted to talk about is something that caught me totally off guard, right? I know everyone has been seeing these AI baby things, right? Where you post your picture and it gives you the picture of what your future child is supposed to look like. And everybody's been doing it. Like one of my kids did it, and I was like, oh, look at the little, it's so cute, whatever. They ain't gonna let us have nothing. This first of all, fair use. Do you know that they took down my video from last week because of my Love and Hip Hop Atlanta clip? I'm so hurt about that. But so fair use, real loud and real big, okay? Please don't come for my stuff. This is from evmagazine.com. Popular app Remini is reportedly making AI CP versions of its user. And I use CP because I don't want to use that word that may get us flagged. In the article, it talks about how, TikTokers have been blowing up this app. Everybody's using it, passing it around. However, a few users have reported that when they've uploaded their images, the child's body that's attached is not appropriately clothed. There are a few people on Twitter who have reported this. It's what can you say about that? It's surprising, but then again, it's not surprising. You know what I'm saying? When you think about the fact that God had spoke of men's thoughts being constantly evil. You cannot have anything these days. Someone is going to try to find a way to pervert it. That's just so sad. But if you want to read that article, it's on EV Magazine, EVIE Magazine.com. Hold on a second. Let me get to these comments. I don't know what people. So yeah, and that's the thing with the whole AI conversation, right? Because once you release your image, But then again, haven't we already been dealing with that? Like there's already a movement online for parents to be more careful about how they share their children's images because people have been taking these images and creating inappropriate content with it, or they've been using these images for inappropriate reasons. You know, what do you do? Like what do you do? And I'm not totally opposed to it. Like you gotta, you know what I'm saying? You gotta play around, you gotta have some fun, you gotta enjoy life. Shalom to Light Hebrew Magazine, shalom to Shalom. You have to enjoy your life, right? You can have your joy in life. But what price are you paying for it? I don't know if you guys have seen this new AI feature, but there's a feature where if you point your phone at a wall, a monster appears. I'm messing with that. I'm not messing with that. And see, some people would be like, well, I'm not messing with AI at all. But you're kind of in a world where you already are messing with AI. The algorithm itself is AI. I mean, the matrix itself, I don't know how to I don't know how to say it to somebody that doesn't realize it. Um, and this is something that I had talked about before, whereas we're caused to do certain things. We're not necessarily made to, right? Like nobody's, forcing you to take part in the internet. But nobody's forcing you to take part in the internet. But to do just about anything these days, you have to. You're going to have to encounter the internet at some point, no matter how much you may not want to. For the imagination of man's heart is evil from his youth, neither will I again smite anything evermore. Amen. All praises. Right, exactly. And even back then, so how much worse, right? And we know the Bible tells us that there's nothing new under the sun. So this stuff has been going on. I just want y'all to be wise out there, especially when exposing your children to things. Monitor what your child is doing online. Like we have every block that we can think of, and you try so hard, you do so much, but these people are gonna try. These people are gonna try. So you just have to be even more vigilant. Okay. All right, now these next things we're going to discuss are going to tie into the fruit of the spirit, how we display them in our lives, things like that. Okay. So for the first topic, I'm gonna play a clip. And now I know some of y'all might say, this is YPB. You know what I mean by YPB. And yes, it is YPB, okay? But I feel like there's a lesson here for us to learn because, as we know, some of us like to follow YPB and take up some of that behavior. But no. So I'm going to play this clip and then we're going to talk about it. I don't know if you guys are familiar with Jonah Hill. But he was in, oh my gosh, what was that first movie he was in? Super Bad. Was he in Pineapple Express? I don't know, but most recently he was in You People on Netflix with Lauren London. Okay, so he's, been in a few movies, done a few things. I tend to like his movies. Okay, so recently he's been accused of emotional abuse by an ex-girlfriend. I'm gonna play the clip because they're gonna read the text messages and then we're gonna talk about it.
I want to talk about this. So Jonah Hill is going super viral. Let's put this up on the screen. So basically, you know Jonah Hill, the actor?
Yeah.
Okay. Just had to check.
Sure.
That's the dude off of Wolf on Wall Street that said, if you show me $70,000, I quit my fucking job right now and work for you.
Yes. So his so he just had a baby with his new girl, right? And this is I love that I'm gonna get you guys to like weigh in on white people business right here, but he just had a baby with a new girl. His ex-girl, his old girl, this girl, Sarah Brady, she posts up a bunch of DMs from Jonah Hill, and we're going to have a conversation about this today and decide what we think of his behavior. So she writes, "This is a warning to all girls. If your partner is talking to you like this, make an exit plan. I love y'all. Call me if you need an ear." So, all right. Basically, she's like a surf instructor, right? So her whole Instagram is filled with pictures of her surfing, and she's wearing bathing suits, bikinis, whatever. She's showing her body in a way that is not like sexual, but she's a surfer. So she's fucking on the beach and, whatever. So he texts her, and this was a couple years ago before he got with the girl he's having the baby with now. "Respect however you want to live your life. You only get one. I'm sort of done explaining myself." She said, 3 removed. She's talking about on her Instagram. "Not the video yet. It is my best surfing video. Would you feel better if the cover frame was different? Any more specific ones that bother you?" He said, yes. "One that isn't your ass in a thong." She said, "Not a thong, but okay." Now we get further elaboration. She writes, "Fuck it." And I like how everybody can't swear on Instagram anymore. So this is whacking something out, right? If you put an X instead of the C.
That was like respectable, right?
Yeah.
There.
Okay, so she's not going to get packed up with the hood. All right. So these are his rules for their relationship at the time.
That actually is why.
If you need surfing with men, boundaryless, inappropriate friendships with men, to model, to post pictures of yourself in a bathing suit, to post sexual pictures, friendships with women who are in unstable places and from your wild recent past beyond getting a lunch or coffee or something respectful, then I am not the right partner for you. If these things bring you to a place of happiness, I support it and there will be no hard feelings. These are my boundaries for romantic partnership. My boundaries with you based on the way these actions have hurt our trust. So basically, I've seen 2 different sides of this from people, which is that some people feel like this is
okay. So let me first clear up my acronym because I just figured y'all might know. I don't know, but YPB is white people business, and I don't want to get flagged, so I didn't want to say it. But my husband just walked in here and told me that nobody had any idea what I was talking about. So YPB, white people business. There it is. Okay. Fair use for that clip. That was not the clip, but we're about to talk about it. Okay, so you can't miss the fact, okay, that she waited until he's having a baby with someone else to release all of these text messages all of a sudden, okay? That is not missed on me. And then the allegations of emotional abuse. It's beyond me how any of this is emotional abuse. What I see is a man saying, "This is what I will deal with. This is what I won't deal with." How is that a problem? How is that abuse? I'm not sure about that. Okay, hold on, you guys. I have to block someone who's making inappropriate comments. Okay. So, how anyone laying out their boundaries qualifies as emotional abuse is beyond me. You don't see anywhere in these text messages where he's threatening her. You don't see anywhere in these text messages where he's telling her anything beyond his conditions for being in a relationship. Now, of course, I've had some conversations about this online, and it seems that everyone that wants to come in defense of this woman is having to rely on some ambiguous, unclear, cloudy, vague definition of what they want to call modern womanhood. how we get to modern womanhood is beyond me, because as far as I know, we've been the same women since the beginning. She seems bitter, and what he said was what a man would say. It's not like he called her out her name or accused her of anything. Exactly. Thank you. Thank you. He did not call her out her name, not one time. He did not degrade her. He did not put her down. He even gave a reason. He said, because of our trust or our past issues with trust. That is why he said that he wanted their relationship to continue in that manner. And see, instead of a woman, excuse me, I'm going to say a modern woman. Okay. I'm going to say that. And again, I'm just going to say that because that is the argument that justifies this as emotional abuse. This is only emotional abuse to modern womanhood, right? So a traditional woman like myself would not view this as emotional abuse. I was told, because I'm so involved and I have so bought into the patriarchy. Now, I'm not sure why anyone would look at me with my hair of wool and my brown skin and believe that for 1 second I have bought into modern patriarchy. Very clear on my role as a Black woman, married to a Black man, part of a Black family, that there has never been a Black patriarchy governing me in my lifetime or in my previous generations to count, okay? So please don't ever think that it is this present patriarchy that I'm ever supporting, all right? My understanding, my understanding of life comes from the Bible, okay? It just does. There's no way around that. And one of the things for me, it's like, if we don't even agree on the Bible as a foundation, where are we going with this conversation? Okay? Because to have to come up with a new term to justify why you feel you're being abused means that it's not really abuse. It's just something that you don't agree with. For example, if I called you right now and claim that my husband was abusing me, you would ask me, well, what has he done to you? I would have to give you an answer that would line up with abuse. Where is the emotional abuse in these text messages? And what's even more startling is in this is that we live in a generation of women who will sit in your face and read down a list of things that they want, don't want, will accept, won't accept, will and will not tolerate, will and will not put up with, will and will not do for a man. So is that emotional abuse? I don't know. Let's get to these. Let's get to the comments. King 7, shalom, shalom. Shaba, I'm a single female born in the 90s. I don't see any emotional abuse. Modern women just want to play victim, and it is what it is. It's the oppression Olympics, right? And they used to say this about black and brown and indigenous people, that, oh, they're just trying to see who can be the most oppressed and who's going to be able to claim the most hurt or the most prejudice. But I know I'm not supposed to say this, in this day and time when biological females are being replaced, it now seems that they have entered the oppression Olympics. Okay. And I can't. I'm sad for my sisters, right? Especially when I hear them saying, no, I want to be married. I want a man. I want a family. I want a relationship. But they've been brainwashed to think that a man is going to come into their life and be the positive change that God intended for him to be in her life without any rules and regulations. That is not going to happen, okay? A man with no order has nothing to offer you but hard times, heartache, and trips to the food bank. Okay, no offense if you go to the food bank, I'm just saying. Why is it that we are okay with making these lists, and mostly lists of shallow things, may I add? And then he didn't say you got to lose weight. He didn't call her fat. He didn't demean or demoralize her in any way. Even when he was talking about the naked pictures, he didn't say anything like, oh, it makes you look like a slut, take it down. He did not say any of that. He said, I don't like it. And then furthermore, he said, if this is what you need to be happy, good luck. Go on with that. What more how much more opposite of abuse can this man get than to tell this woman, if this makes you happy, go ahead and do that? Is that not what you're supposed to do? They got me confused with that one. Brianna, shalom and shalom, sis. Thank you for joining me. Like, share, subscribe, turn on your notifications so you know when we go live here at the House of Mono. Listen, if you like what we have going on here, you're feeling what I'm saying, $1 or $2 will do. And I thank you so much in advance. $ the House of Mono. Shalom and shalom. If you are on the IG, please head over to the YouTube at Miss Mono's World so you can join in the conversation on YouTube. Thank y'all so much for being here. Okay, so like I was saying, like this, he did the exact opposite of abuse. Okay, this is what I like. This is what I don't like. And if you don't listen, and this is why I was saying to y'all before, don't ever ask a man to marry you. Don't ever ask a man to take on the responsibility of you, okay? Because now you're leaving room for things to be vague, things to be confused. No, this man was very clear and assertive on what he wanted. And to me, the way she presented these text messages is like she was trying to meet his demands, because she said, okay, I removed 3 of them. So she was trying to conform, but not all the way. And is it not kind of like her stringing him along to not say, well, listen, this is part of my career. This is what I need to do. If you're not cool with this, then okay, we should just be friends. Why isn't she at fault for not realizing, okay, this, I can't live up to this. I should let him go on about his business. As gracious as he was to her, right? He said, if that makes you happy, go on about your business. Why can't she give him that same grace? But we women, we do this. Let's read this comment. She wants somebody to call her hoe and speak on her body count. See, exactly, right? And see, this is what I'm saying. If you've ever really been emotionally and verbally abused, this is a joke. This is almost an insult. It's almost an insult. For real. How dare you call this abuse? Okay. But we as women, we tend to do this to men. All right. Let's talk about it, right? He wants this. He wants a woman that cook. He wants a woman that clean. You know, good and doggone well, you can barely boil an egg. But you put on in your front and you try to watch the food channel and take all the cooking lessons and watch all the tutorials, knowing good and well you can't cook. And if you manage to fool him like so many of us do, you keep going on and on and on doing something you never liked doing in the first place, instead of realizing like, hey, you know what? I don't like cooking. This guy needs someone that can cook for him. Let him go find someone else, and I'm going to find somebody who doesn't need me to cook for them. Instead of doing that, which is the mature and respectable thing to do, you'll be sneaky and order takeout, or you'll be sneaky and have your mom. And I see these things played out in front of us. So that is why I'm not hesitant to say that this is the stuff that is going on. Okay? You know, we as women, unfortunately, can get to a point where we are so desperate that we will try to become anything a man wants us to be. And here's the problem with that. The problem with that is you cannot keep up that facade for the rest of your life. You cannot do it. If you make it to the altar. Look, I don't know about you. I can't be that fake that much. I get very impatient, and that's going to give it away. Exactly. The representative. You put up this front, you bring out your representative who is going to be everything that this man said that he needs for a woman to be, right? He needs somebody he need what, a ride or die, you know, whatever. I don't know what they telling y'all these days, okay? But you conform yourself to be that. And so we see this man putting out his conditions, a woman who tries to conform a little bit, but doesn't really want to conform, right? But now that he's not willing to put up with that, it's abuse, okay? It's kind of like when we create relationships in our head, all right? This man has told you 50 million times he does not want to be in a relationship, okay? Or even if he has not come out and rightly told you he doesn't want to be in a relationship, if you feel like you know him well enough to be in a relationship and he's not there yet, then he don't want to be in a relationship with you. I don't know if he's maybe not saying the with you loud enough, but it's there at the end of the sentence. And we need to start acknowledging that. It's emotional abuse when we won't see what a man is saying. And what I mean by see what a man is saying is because now this situation here, this man wrote out a text, like he's in therapy. So, you know, in therapy, they teach you to communicate and all this good stuff. So he had the communication skills to go down and write out this text message. Some men do not. Okay. Some men are not that clear. Some men are not that concise. They're not going to sit down and write you out a text message. I've told you before, like sometimes they just go along because they don't want to hurt your feelings. They may not want to just come out and dump you because they may care about you just a little bit. So they don't want to hurt your feelings too bad. So they're hoping that you'll get the hint. What do you mean hoping that I get the hint? He'll stop calling. He'll stop taking you out. He may try and say crazy things to you. Like, there are things that a man will do. And this is what I mean by seeing what he is saying. Don't listen to the words. See what he is saying by his actions. Like my good sis here just said, actions speak louder than words, especially when it comes to men. They are not creatures of speech. We were in the middle of a huge order not too long ago, and something really good had happened. And I had asked my husband, I was like, aren't you happy? And he was like, I'm happy, but I can't really get into it right now. I need to stay focused on my work. And that was just like a very real moment for me because like I get to relax and unwind and enjoy what's going on. And he doesn't get to do that because that's going to take his focus off of his job as a husband, as a father, as a provider. Okay. And so that was like an eye opener for me. Sometimes they can't sit down and have that conversation with you that you want them to have. Okay. Sometimes the words are not going to come out the way you may want them to. Sometimes the feelings are not going to be expressed the way that you feel they should be expressed, but that does not make them any less valid. You understand what I'm saying? Just like a love language, okay? Your love language might be quality time. Your mate's love language might be acts of service. No one's love language is any less important than the other. Well, since we're here, and this is gonna spawn off the emotional abuse conversation, okay? Because actually what this man did was a very kind gesture. I would say almost a loving gesture. Instead of leading her on and letting all this tension and emotion build up and one day snapping on her, lashing out, and really causing a problem, he laid out his rules for engagement from the very beginning. And we can take a lesson from this in our lives, okay? When we look at how God loves us, right? Because does he not lay out the rules of engagement from the very beginning? Did he not give the law to our ancestors? And did he not say, hey, listen, this is my covenant. If you keep it, I'll do this. I'll bless you. I'll multiply you. You know, is it not written out that way? But we won't look at that as love. We'll look at that as bondage. You'll call that emotional abuse because you won't let me do what I want to do. You know, we're like a bunch of toddlers who keep walking toward the pool even though our parents are trying to save us from drowning. The thing about a toddler is you don't know you're going to drown when you go into that pool, but your parent does. That's the same thing with us as children of God. We don't know that we're going to drown when we get into that sin, but our Father does. Jonah Hill knows he's going to drown if he stays in a relationship with a woman that carries herself like that. She doesn't know it. She doesn't know the danger she'll be in if he continues living every day angry with her. But he does, so he's trying to save her from that. See, sometimes your no is really protection. And, you know, I'm going to say this, and I know, you know, listen, I am in no way trying to infantize grown women, okay? I'm not trying to make us into children. I am not trying to devalue us as productive adults. That is not what I'm doing here. What I am trying to get you guys to understand, though, is that there is an order to everything, okay? If you've ever been in a supervisor or a management position, you know how important it is to the overall goal for everyone to play their part. That is why you as a supervisor give the people below you their assignments and make sure they get done. And then you take that to the other teammate, and now everyone can put their work together, and look what we did. But if the people under you, now you're the supervisor, okay? If the people under you that are supposed to be doing their part of the work are all throwing temper tantrums and claiming that, oh, you're making me work when I don't want to, and this is mean, and this is restrictive, nothing ever gets done. You're constantly disciplining people. You're constantly writing people up. You're constantly turning people over. You got to fire this one, bring in a new one, train that one. Nothing ever gets done. Well, what does that have to do with my marriage? Every time your husband come to you with an idea, you got a reason why you don't want to do it. You got a reason why it's not going to work. I don't feel like it. I'm tired. I got my period. The kids is getting on my nerves. Can't you do it? My mental health. And listen, I am not trying to joke about mental health at all, but and that's all I'm going to say, because I don't take mental health as a joke at all. Please understand that I don't, okay? But what I also have a hard time dealing with, I have a hard time dealing with people who just lean on that as a crutch and try not to get any help, okay? It's one thing if you're bothered, you're sick, you don't feel well, and you don't know why. Okay, but now that you know the issue, let's work on solving that instead of just wallowing in it and staying there. You understand what I'm saying? All right, let's get to some of these comments. The Most High's love is unfailing, but he has conditions. And it's straightforward too. The Most High does not cut any corners. He made it plain and simple. No room for any misunderstanding at all. Yes, you have to push through it. You have to push through it. Again, I'm not talking to everyone, okay? If you know that you listen, when it comes to mental health, and it's just a little sidebar, pray and medicate, okay? If you need medication to make it through, please do what you have to do to put yourself at ease, okay? But also, all right, the Most High is the provider of everything. So please pray and lean on him too. All right, so yeah, you know, that's what love is, very upfront. All right, it's not gonna cut any corners. It's not gonna lie to you. And I don't think a lot of us want love for real. We don't. Because like my sis mentioned, even God's love is not unconditional. Okay? The only person who will ever love you unconditionally, and even that, I want to say your mother, but even that's not guaranteed. Speaking of which, let's go to this clip. Since we're talking about mothers, let's go to this clip, okay? Once again, fair use. This is not my content, but this is a little clip from TikTok that I wanted to share with you guys. All right, and this is I'm assuming it's a mom and a dad, but the mom is on camera. The dad is behind the camera talking to the mother. Okay, so we'll watch this and then we'll come back and talk.
This is not for everybody.
No, everybody need to know. Come on now, and you a parent. You know what I'm saying?
You're a parent too.
Yes,
I don't
know.
want our kid no more. I'm sorry.
What?
You don't be here. You don't be here taking care of her. You don't be going through all the stressful stuff that I be going through. I want to go out. I want to go to the club. I want to travel. I want to be able to get up at 2 a.m. and go hang with my friends if I want to do it. You don't be nowhere to be found.
What? I'm working. What are you talking about?
Doing what?
And you sound real selfish like that. Saying that. You sound real
I'm alone.
selfish.
You're supposed to be her father, and I'm alone.
I am her father, and I am here with her.
So where do you be at? Because you might as well be an absent baby daddy, and I might as well put you on child support.
Oh my God.
To be honest.
Well, where the baby at right now?
With your mother.
With my mother.
Yeah, because you want to sit here and put a camera
But you told me she was going to be here with you.
Why would she be here with me when I don't want her?
Oh my God, you sound real selfish, man. I don't even understand how we even going through this right now.
Because you don't be here. I gotta sit there and bathe your child every night.
But that's what you're supposed to do.
I gotta sit here and listen to your child cry about her father not being here every night. Well, I gotta put her to sleep. I gotta sit here and take her to the doctor when she's sick. I gotta sit here and take her in and out the store with a big car seat. Her car seat almost as big as me. That's heavy. You don't be nowhere. I gotta take her in and out the store.
Yes, I want to keep
I
her.
didn't want this kid.
Okay, you waited 2 years. You waited 2 years, and now you want to give it up?
No, I didn't want to give it up before she even got
But
here.
you didn't.
Okay, because you said you was gonna be here.
Oh, all right, and I'm here. So why we
You're
going through
here
this?
arguing with me, but you're not here when it counts. You're not here when it counts. So I don't want her. So you can either go pick her up from your mother's house, or she'll be at the fire station next week, and I'm gonna be in Miami next somewhere.
Oh, in Miami. So that's more.
Yeah,
That's
I
more
want to live
important.
my life. I don't want no kid.
You know.
You wanted this kid. You said you was gonna be here. You was gonna be the father, and you was gonna take care of what you needed.
And that's what I'm doing.
No, you're not.
Look, y'all see her? Y'all see this right now?
You probably
y'all see how she's sounding right now?
2 hours a week.
Do y'all witness this right here? Oh my God, you
Nobody
sound so
better sit here and
pathetic.
agree with
You
and
sound so
You're an
pathetic.
absent father.
You sound so
You're an
pathetic
absent
right
father.
now. You know what I mean? You doing the thing, the essential things
Oh
that
my God,
a mother's supposed to.
Okay, what is a father supposed to do?
What
Sit
you
there
mean?
and
I go work.
The
The father go work, provide for the family,
What are you
protect the family.
providing?
What?
Because I pay for daycare. Your mother picks her up when I have to go to work.
Okay, it's a team, man. It's a family. It's a team effort.
You
If I gotta
the only
handle
one
some
that got
business,
on the team.
if I got,
You was a bench warmer, my dude.
oh my
Like, you was a
God,
bench warmer.
oh my God, now I'm a bench woman.
Yes, because when your mother has to pick up our daughter, when I can't pick up your daughter, why can't we call you? Why we gotta call everybody in the family?
Because I'm working late. I'm working late, and that's not
You work
even.
24 hours a day?
I do.
Be for real.
But listen,
Be
but
for real.
that don't mean for you to want to give up the child. That's
Then you
crazy.
take her.
I will.
Okay, then.
And I'm
So
taking
when
you
we
to
have
court, and I'm putting you on child support.
You're not putting me on child support. I would sign over all my rights right now.
Believe that. Wow.
Like what?
And you think that's cute?
I don't think it's cute, but I didn't want her. You did. So
Oh
take care
my
of her.
God. Oh my God. That like I don't understand why I even came in this situation with you. Anyway.
I don't either. Nobody told you to sit there and beg on your knees to have a kid with me.
Oh, so I begged on my knees.
Yes, you did.
Oh. I see how you trying to play it. But that don't change the
Where
fact
were you
that
when I was in the delivery room? Because I feel like your mother was there during the delivery room. Where were you?
that day I had to go put somebody.
So you in the delivery room, but you want to say I look crazy.
But I came after the fact.
I'm
came.
not about to keep doing this.
No, hold on.
So
No, you
I'm
gonna
not about to
stand.
keep doing this.
No,
You
you gonna
pick
stand right
you
there.
pick her up from your mother's house, or she going to the fire station come next week, and all her stuff will be packed, and she will be sitting out there looking crazy.
And you can really breathe and.
Okay. And I have been accused. Yes, okay, let's read the comments. I'm surprised I didn't see y'all comments. Okay, hold on. All right, Angelina Israel, shalom and shalom says, yeah, I don't know what's wrong with these women. We are definitely at the end of days. Definitely at the end of days. How selfish, even if it isn't working with the father, we have to be accountable for our role in the relationship. It takes two. Absolutely. It takes two to make a baby, and it takes two to make it work. Now, let me just say this. Now, Paige and Monologue McGad, if Mr. Monologue McGad can hear me, can you please come to the podcast room, sir? Okay. It takes two to make the baby. It takes two to raise the baby. And I think a lot of us forget that it takes two to raise the baby part. You heard her say multiple times, "Oh, you begged me, you asked me." And from what I gathered, she meant beg, ask after the fact, like after she was already pregnant, begging and asking her, I'm sorry, not to abort the baby. Give me just 1 second, you guys. I know you guys can't see me. Give me just a second here to get that fixed.
One time. Yeah. 3 times. 4 times. Doing gang things. Living super clean. That done came up. Can't control us. 1 time for the men doing cane thing. Dead fresh to the T, living super clean. 3 times for my folk that done came up. 4 times cause the man can't control us. 1 time for the men doing cane thing. Dead fresh to the T, living super clean. 3 times for my folk that done came up. 4 times cause the man can't control us. Look at you done came up now. Get it how you live, mess the game up now. Ain't messing with yoga, but get the flame up. Hey, used to be Toby, but got your name back now. I see ya, paid under pressure. 25 lighters got them all on the dresser. If it ain't for you, ain't for you then. If you a lame or a sucker, wanna dress you then. Grown up now, bump the childish ways. Got a wife and a bunch of kids to raise. Punch a clock side, hustle or a business you endure to ensure that all the bills is paid. Slow clap for your homeboy. Could've turned out like your homeboy. Being on the same block, cooking up the same rock on the cell block lot with your homeboy. But no, you had vision, you had gold. Brand new you on the old time road. Take care of home where you bust your low. Black men don't teach, screaming bump the hoe. Real men talk, real king ways.
Thank you so much for your patience. Sorry about that, guys. Okay, we got everything back now. Okay, so sorry. All right, so where was I? Reading your comments. Yes, I was. Okay. So, okay, how selfish. Even if it isn't working with the father, we have to be accountable for our role in relationship. It takes two. Yes, so that's what I was going to say. I'm assuming that the begging that she's talking about is after the fact that she was already pregnant and he was begging her to keep the child. Now I've been accused of blaming women for all of the problems in Black America and all that other stuff. And that's not what I'm doing at all. Okay. But one thing we have to realize is when we play the blame game and no one is taking responsibility, nothing is ever going to change, okay? And being that, according to the Bible, it is my responsibility as an aged woman, and I say that with no shame. It's quite a blessing to still be alive. It is my responsibility as an aged woman to teach my sisters and talk to my sisters. So why would I spend my time, exert my energy into addressing the problems that we see with the male? That would just be asinine of me. And also it absolves women from the responsibility of having to correct our behavior if our behaviors are never addressed. Okay. It's really bright. Sorry, guys, having a little technical difficulty, but we're going to get that fixed. I'm going to keep talking to y'all. If we never address what the woman is doing wrong in these situations, then we are forever absolving women of the responsibility of their actions, the consequences of their actions. And then you get women, like we just read that text message before this, claiming emotional abuse just because a man has standards. Okay. So yes, I'm going to be focusing on what the woman did. Okay. Very sad, totally mentally destroyed, gone. That's a Jezebel Ruach. Let's see. Shalom family, no accountability. Shalom and shalom, no accountability, no care for the baby at all. At least she is honest so the father can take custody. And I hope he does. I'm not gonna lie. He said he wasn't even there when the baby was born. So I hope somebody gets that baby. Job 39:16, she is hardened against her young ones as though they were not hers. Her labor is in vain without her because God have deprived her of wisdom. Neither has he imparted to her. And let me just say this, okay? As women, it is your job to protect your womb. Like, it is your job to keep your legs closed. I know nobody wants to hear this. I'm not supposed to say this, but how do we prevent this situation like the one we just saw? How do we prevent that? Because you can't look at people and I mean, come on. We've all made crazy mistakes in our 20s, right? So we can't look at them and be like, "Oh, you should have known better. You just should have known better. You should have been able to look at her and tell." No, because sisters and cousins, let's be honest, there were a few men that we should have been able to look at and just tell. Okay? So we can't really just come down on this brother like that. And you know, this is why it's important to be a law-abiding woman, because if she was a law-abiding woman, this would have never happened to her. All right? She wouldn't have a child that she does not want. And see, this is a kind of thing that's it's like the solution to the solution to the problem is to never sin in the first place. You can't, like she's talking about just dropping the baby off at the fire department, right? So physically, she wants to remove the child, but she has no idea the mental, emotional, and spiritual effects that's going to have on her. She has no idea what situation that's going to put their the child in. So, you know, and then she even went as far as to say, "Oh, I'll sign away my rights. You try to put me," he said, "I'm gonna take your court, put you on child support." Where she said, "I'm gonna sign away my rights. I don't want nothing to do with her." Just up and walk away with no second thought. And again, you know, it might seem like, oh, that's gonna be easy for her to do. That's gonna be easy for her to do, but I guarantee you it's not as easy as she thinks it is. Okay. And yes, of course, men, yes, of course, protect your seed, but ladies, protect your womb, okay? Because guess what? In most cases, when the man leaves, the woman is left with the children, all right? And this isn't a bash on men. This isn't a problem. This is the natural order of things. Like, you're the mother, they started out with you, you're the nurturer. Of course, they're going to go with you. And this is the problem with not thinking things through, making conscious decisions. This is the problem with when it just happened. It just happened. You just end up pregnant by this person who you don't even really like. And now you've got to deal with this for the next 18, 20, 21, however many years. Sign of the times, yes. Definitely a sign of the times. Like, she doesn't even care about her own child. Her own concern is herself and living the life that the world has told her that she should be living right now. That's her main concern. I'm gonna tell you that's horrible, okay? But to go along with that, and at first I was trying to find a clip, and then I was like, no, I don't need to find a clip for this. We all know what twerking is. Okay. So I want to talk about the twerking at Essence Festival. Now, being a child of the 80s and a teenager of the 90s, I very much remember Essence Festival as being a very classy, sophisticated music event in the summer. You know, all the classy Black middle-aged career women were going there. I mean, Essence was just the thing. Like, it was a thing to do. It wasn't ratchet. You wasn't going to Essence Fest to hear Uncle Luke. You twerking did not happen there. This was a sophisticated, esteemed environment. Well, they done invited Janelle Monáe and Megan Thee Stallion, and it has turned into a soft porn show. Okay. Breasts were shown, women were called up to the stage to have a twerk boot camp. Okay. And so let me say this, right? When we talk about love, and you talk about setting a standard, okay? Because the assumption is if you're coming to me with a list of rules and standards, you have a comparable list of rewarding standards or attributes about yourself that's going to make me keeping your standards a balance. What do I mean by that? You hear a lot in relationships where people will say, "Oh, my husband feels like it's all about him. You know, it's all about him. He just focuses on him. Everything is about him, him, him." The way a relationship is supposed to work, and I'm saying this because I live it. The way a relationship is supposed to work is you are supposed to be the other's priority. Okay. I am my husband's priority. My husband is my priority. So we both feed into each other. We feed into each other first. We are each other's main thing. The bulk of everything that we do, everything of our energy goes into each other. Our marriage is first. Okay. Am I saying it works out perfectly every time? Absolutely not. But the principle is if I'm feeding into you and you're feeding into me, neither one of us should feel as if our cups are empty. Okay. So if I as a woman or you as a single woman, okay, am coming to a man with a list of standards saying, I need you to be 6 feet tall, I need you to have a degree, I need you to be making at least 500,000 a year or whatever number y'all throwing out these days. You come with this list, right, of standards. Now, when you are exacting these standards, are you twerking in public while exacting these standards? Because the two behaviors don't go. The two behaviors don't go. And I feel again, this is a very bad out of the thousands of side effects, if you want to say, of us not being taught the truth about the love of God. If we would have been taught up front that, listen, this is what it takes. This is what it takes to love God. And this is what God does because he loves you. Then you will understand that love really is transactional. It really is an action word. What do I mean by that? Listen, sidebar, okay? I'm not really in the best place with either one of my biological parents right now, okay? But one thing that my mother will always have, and one thing I will always have to respect her for, the love that she did have and she did show, she cared for my needs. She made sure I had a roof over my head, clothes on my back, food in my belly. I was clean. I wasn't, you know what I'm saying? I wasn't out here going to school in dirty clothes. None of that. She cared for me. That is love, okay? Now, on the other hand, my father cannot say the same thing. And what do I mean by that? He never put any effort into our relationship. There wasn't an effort even made to come and visit or to have me come in. There was no effort. His love was just words. So how would you feel if God gave you the law now and said, listen, this is what you have to do, okay? I'm going to be busy over here doing what I want to do. This is what you have to do. That's abuse. That is abuse right there. Okay? That's what we don't understand. That's pimping. That is pimping. That I can't think of a better way to put it, because what does a pimp do? A pimp tells you, listen, this is what you have to do. This is where you're going to go work, and I need you to bring me X amount of dollars at X amount of time. Does the pimp have any obligation to the hoe? No, I mean, I guess to make sure she don't die, but does he really care about that? No, I don't think that he does. I could be mistaken. That's what that is. Okay, but that's not what the Most High is giving us. All right. And I know a lot of times we're told that, oh, our man's love should model God's love for us, but also, ladies, your love for your man or your future man should also model God's love. It should also model that. Now, is it going to be the same type? No, because his love is protect, provide. Your love is nourish and comfort. Okay. So no, but it should have the same exacting of standards. Because I love you, you're not going to go without a warm meal. Because I love you, I'm going to make sure you have clean sheets on your bed. I'm going to make sure your house is comfortable. I'm going to make sure your clothes are clean. You understand what I'm saying? We can't come with the expectation of provision and protection if we're not willing to hold up the other side of that. Now, to make it pertain to these women that are out here twerking, and I know y'all might say, oh, well, they're single. It doesn't matter. Ma'am, sis, cousin, everything is caught on video these days. Okay. It's something that's always like been in the back of my mind. Like, I never want to be caught doing something crazy on video, because what if I wind up running for president or something? You know what I'm saying? Like, doing something important like that. I don't want anybody coming up with a tape out the blue like, ooh, look at her. Well, you up here shaking your behind at Essence Fest for the world to see. And it reminds me of the all the talk when they were talking about doing the 94 Freaknik documentary, and you know, all the women who are saved now and their pastors' wives and all this other stuff, you know, were up in arms about not wanting to be seen that way. Well, why haven't we learned from that lesson? We tend to come from lines of women that don't like to be truthful about their past. For whatever reason, I know we have a lot of generational trauma. And honestly, some of our parents and grandparents may have had to live lives that they're not proud of. I get that. Okay. But what I want us to be able to take from that is to think about it for a second and say, you know what? I want to be able to have honest and open conversations with my children. So maybe I shouldn't do things that I may have to consider lying to them about. I'm just saying, for those of you, you know, who are still going through life and making decisions. I know I want to be someone's wife one day. Maybe I should try to carry myself in a way um that would not cause my future husband to be embarrassed. And even before all that, let me just say that I think that you as a person is enough of a reason to carry yourself in the dignified manner that you were meant to carry yourself in. Okay, the Bible talks about how we at one time were so delicate that the sole of our foot would not touch the ground. We went from that to twerking on stage for everybody to see. And I'm sorry, it does not miss me as a owner of multiple dogs who have seen the mating process multiple times. It does not miss me how these women are offering their behinds to the world. That's what my dogs do. That's what the dogs do. When one of my female dogs sees a male dog and she's in heat and she likes that dog, she goes and turns her butt up in his face. I know I'm not supposed to say, "Are you comparing me to a dog?" Well, no, not you, but your behavior. Your behavior. But then you want to have all these standards. Because I bet you one of those women will climb right off that stage and tell a man why he can't take her out for ice cream. Let's get into that one. It's not a it's not a clip. It was a tweet that I saw. Hold on, I'm trying to find it here. Okay. Anyway, the tweet was a copy of a text conversation. Man texted a woman. Apparently, they were just trying to get to know each other. They had just met. And he says, like, hey, it's hot outside today. You know, I could really go for some ice cream. She texts him back, oh, I don't do ice cream dates. And so here's my thing, right? Again, we are the class of women in this society who publicly have a problem getting married, staying married, and maintaining healthy families. Like, this is not a secret that Black women are undesirable and unmarriable. And so it's lost on me how at one hand that is used to justify the victim label that a lot of Black women want to wear. Okay? And then on the other hand, it is used to not used. On the other hand, it is ignored by the individual. Okay. I mean, if this is the group idea, right? If you as a Black woman fall under this definition of modern women, because I don't want to generalize all Black women. I'm not saying this. But if you as a Black woman fall under this definition of modern womanhood, this is most often the thought process, like, oh, Black women have such a hard time getting a man. Okay, that's your group think. So what are you as an individual going to do to change that? It seems, if anything, I find Black women moving in the opposite direction. Okay. Case in point, we are still talking about this Keke Palmer thing. Are we really still talking about this? Okay. I mean, even if he did consent to her outfit, cool. Y'all still justifying the behavior though? It's hard to keep a man. You know, Black men are always leaving their families. Black women are always made to be single mothers. But then you have a Black woman with a family at home, and instead of saying to her or them, hey, it's hard for Black women to have the father of their children stay and them be a complete family. Why are you trying to mess that up? Instead of saying that to her, they're rooting her on in the destruction. Rooting her on in the direction that's going to lend one more voice, one more statistic, one more antidote. So now when they come to someone like me trying to live a Bible-based womanhood, now they have this horrible story that they can tell, of course, without telling the whole truth. Of course, without telling the whole truth, but he left, my baby daddy, he just left. How's that? And here what I'm saying. I'm not saying that love always feels good. It doesn't. It doesn't. Because even the Most High chastens who he loves, right? If he loves you, he's going to come after you. He's going to discipline you. He's going to correct your behavior. And a lot of times we don't want to accept that from our father or from any of the male guardians who we have around us. And yes, I consider my husband a male guardian because if anything happens, I'm calling him first. I don't care how y'all feel about it. We don't want to accept the truth. But love is not a lie. We don't want to be corrected. We don't want to be redirected. What do I mean by redirected? I had a whole show prepared. A whole show. I had worked on it for a few days. A few days, okay? When I went to run it by Mr. Mono, he said no. I said, "Oh, okay. Let me think of something else while I'm at the nail salon." Okay, sounds like somebody just fell down the steps, but I think they'll be okay. Okay. There was no argument. There was no, well, I think, ladies, I know y'all not gonna like when I say this, but there was no, but God told me, because I honestly don't have any reason to not believe that the Most High would give me a direction and not give it to my husband first. I don't have any reason to believe that. So that's never gonna be my answer. Okay. My understanding of that, I don't, I don't want to say it makes it easier, but it kind of does. Like, once you understand, the Bible talks in Deuteronomy about how God has to come and circumcise your heart before you can even love him in the first place. Okay? He literally has to make it possible for you to love him, right? So the fact that you can't even begin to I don't want to say you can't even recognize it. Like, you literally can't see it. Okay? And what do I mean by that? Oh, it's very easy to see. When you see people walking around who are just so look at the world we live in. Do you think that these people really perceive the Most High in their thoughts? You want to see being turned over to a reprobate mind? Turn on the television, turn on RuPaul, turn on the Pride Parade, turn on any number of these events, situations, and you will see people who have been given over to their reprobate mind. The fact that you can even love the Most High is a gift. That in itself is a gift, right? So let's not underappreciate the fact that you can even recognize love in that form. All right. And then, this world has done such a good job of just separating the truth of the Bible from the truth of our lives. If you really just sit down and look at it, our physical relationships should very much mimic our heavenly relationship with our Father. Especially for us as women when it comes to how we love our children. Now, I'm not going to say so much in mimicking the relationship in the way that we love our husbands, because we are not over them, right? So the love that we're going to show for them is going to be different. But in order, I'm going to say this, in order to understand how a man should love you, I wholly believe that you should understand how God loves you first, right? Because in a generation of fatherless daughters, what other comparison do we have? I didn't see a healthy marriage growing up, so what do I have to compare my marriage to? And I believe that's a situation for a lot of us. I think for most of us, we didn't grow up seeing what we wanted. We grew up seeing what we didn't want and have just been trying everything in our power to not mimic that, right? But in not mimicking that, okay, what am I supposed to be doing? Right? I mean, like, we understand, like, okay, if I don't want to get wet, I don't get in the pool, right? But I don't want to end up, you know, divorced single mom. What do I do about that? I don't, you know, I don't know how not to go that way. And that's what I'm trying, that's what I would like to, that's the gap I would like to help fill in here. Okay. So even in, and I know I've been kind of all over the place, y'all. Please forgive me, but it's, I'm working on it here. Okay. I want to, again, I want to present practical examples of biblical living, right? And so even when I come with these stories, it's not about the people. It's not about the people in the story. It's about the behavior that they're displaying. And I even thought to not talk about the twerking and essence thing, because in my mind it's like, that's the world. What do we expect of them? But the fact of the matter is, I know a lot of y'all, not y'all that's listening, but others, others out there who are faking the funk and exhibiting some of this same behavior in public while claiming to be in the truth. And now, come on. You'll exhibit this same behavior, but then wonder why you can't get a man, wonder why you can't get married. I'll never forget, me and my husband were at a housewarming party, and I don't know what song came on, but all of the women, and I mean every single woman there, ran in the house to start twerking. I couldn't believe it. I couldn't believe it. I don't care. I don't care if it's other married couples there. I'm not twerking in front of another man. I don't care if that's somebody else's husband. I am not shaking my behind in front of another man. But none of these women had a second thought of that. And they were all married. Oh, well, the men are married. That shouldn't be a problem. Do you think that just because that man is married that he can't see your behind shaking? Do you think that something happened? And this is what do y'all think that something happened to men that just because now you're in their lives, all of a sudden they don't see anything anymore? All of a sudden, all women are ugly to them, and you're the only one that looks like anything, and you got the biggest butt. And come on, that's just not reality. Okay. So it's our job as women to live it's our job as women to live up to the standard of love that we want to see in our lives. Oh, thank you, Lord. I think that is a great way to put it, because again, love is action. Love is not just words. And what do I mean by live up to the level of love? Okay, well, how do we love God first and foremost? That's first and foremost. We can't even talk about loving ourselves if we don't have our relationship with the Most High straight. How do we love God? I said this earlier, and I think I'm gonna put it on a shirt. That's what my husband said. But keeping the law is God's one and only love language. There's nothing else that you can do. And here's the miseducation of American church. Oh, I'm going to raise my hands in praise and worship. I'm going to sing a song. I'm going to say, I love you, I love you, I love you over and over again. And this is my, what do they call it? Your lip service. This is my love offering. But no, what he said was keep my commandments, right? Not that we aren't to praise and worship. We absolutely are. I feel like it's very essential to my mental health. Okay. Prayer and worship is essential to my mental health. All right. And a lot of y'all might need it too. But so I like to think of prayer and worship as the gifts to the marriage. What do I mean by that? You have your everyday things that you do in your marriage, right? Your husband, he goes to work, he pays the bills. You cook, you clean, you take care of the kids, you wash your clothes. You know, y'all do y'all family thing day to day, right? But then there are the gifts of the marriage. He might bring home flowers. He might give you a gift. My honey bought me an Apple Watch and an iPad. You know what I'm saying? Like the gifts. So to me, for this illustrative purposes, the praise and worship are the gifts. Yes, it's nice. And believe it or not, it's essential to the relationship. It is essential to the relationship, but that's not the core of the thing. You can bring me gifts and not necessarily love me. I know y'all might find it hard to believe, but men do it all the time. Some of y'all sugar mamas do it too. People can give you stuff and not love you. It happens all the freaking time. Every day. Every day. Okay? So the gifts are great, but where's the love? Nothing else matters. Okay? Until you've got that love with the Most High, right? Okay? So now that we know how we love the Most High, any other love that you are trying to pursue in your life is going to be wrapped up in that. What do I mean by that? I am not, let's be clear, okay? I'm not an insecure woman. All right. I'm secure in my marriage. Like my husband keeps me reaffirmed, confident, flat-footed and sure. Like I will stand 10, I'll bet the bank on my husband. I have no qualms about doing that. I 100 times I'm betting everything on my husband, period. Okay. But I am fully aware that amount of faith in my husband is not just from the work of his hands. Okay. Don't get me wrong. This man does amazing things. But I know that what is going to keep him focused on me as his wife, what is going to keep him focused on our family and building our legacy is his love for the Most High and his heart to be obedient toward him. Okay? Ma'am, sis cousin, you can be flipping off the chandelier, turning the bed upside down, ripping him inside out. Okay? But we are all humans. We all face temptation and sometimes we fail. Okay? And here's, I'm not saying that, oh, my husband will never mess up. I'm not saying like, oh, I would send him. I would never send my husband into a room with a naked woman. Okay? I'm no fool now. Okay? But when it comes to loving me, providing for me, doing the things that the Most High has obligated him to do for me as a wife, I know I can take that to the bank because I know his heart is first toward the Most High. See, I don't have any consequences for him. I don't have no consequences. He can go out here tomorrow and ruin everything, and there's nothing I can do in my own power. I can't beat him up. I can't do anything. All I'm going to be able to do is sit here and cry and try to figure out how me and my kids are going to get by. Okay? But I know that he fears the judgment of the Most High. So if for whatever reason he decides that she getting on my nerves right now, I don't even care what she's talking about. I know, like, have y'all seen this 2-step verification that Google has now? You put in the password and they send a text message to your phone. Okay, so I know I'm the password. And if you get past me, the Most High is the text message in the phone. Okay? So that's what I'm saying. Like, any other love you want, it's going to be tied up in being obedient to the Most High. Ma'am, sis, cousin, it's not easy to be a wife every day. I know some of y'all is, excuse me for talking to y'all like this, but I call y'all sisters and cousins. So I know some of y'all is just hot in the pants and you don't want to sin. Let's keep it funky, okay? Let's keep it funky. That's the reason a lot of y'all want to get married, okay? And I'm not mad at it. I'm not going to sit here and lie and say I haven't been there and didn't have those same thoughts. I'm not going to say that that wasn't a lot of the reason that I got married as well. But you would be foolish to think that once you get married that everything's going to be smooth sailing and life is just going to be roses and rainbows and everyone is going to poop butterflies. No, ma'am, sis, cousin, that is not true. Okay. If anything, now you have a partner to go through things with, and it's hard living with two people. I mean, living with someone else. It's hard, two people living together. It's hard, two people living together. It's hard when you are not used to living with a man and you do. I know some of y'all might find that hard to believe, like, well, I can't wait to be married so I can do this, and that. Baby, it is hard to live with a man. Okay, especially when you're used to having your own space. One, when you didn't grow up with a man in the house, and two, once you've gotten used to your own space. And especially, I'm going to say three, in this day and time when we're taught that everything is about the woman and the man is really there to accommodate you. So you don't get a healthy perception of how to welcome someone into your space or even how to cohabitate into a space. I can't imagine if I was already living and my husband came to live with me. I can't imagine. We probably wouldn't have made it. We both moved into our new home together. So this is ours together. And even then, it had its challenges. So there are times when you as a wife are going to have to rely on your relationship with the Most High to keep you from walking out. And see, this, like, I hate to say these things. Sometimes I really can't go into the reality of being a wife and a mother because you have so many women who are just so like hard hitting against it. And I never want to lend to those voices. I never want what I'm saying to be misconstrued. However, I would be remiss to mislead my sisters and cousins into thinking that, oh yeah, everything's fine over here and we're just eating bonbons and sipping champagne. No, ma'am, cousin, let me explain to you. I have grown more in these 9 years of marriage than I have in my whole life, spiritually, mentally, emotionally. In these past 9 years. And that growth did not come from everything being easy. That growth came from having a man who was not afraid to say, no, that's wrong. No, you can't do that. No, I know you can do better than that. And that's what a lot of us don't want to hear. We just want someone who's going to accept our crap the way it is. Okay. But just like the Most High set them laws forth and said, no, I intend the best for you. Your husband should feel the same way about you. You should want your husband to intend the best for you. Okay, that's why my husband don't let me get on this camera looking no kind of way. That's why when I presented him with what I thought I was going to talk about tonight, he said no. because he wants what is best for me. I put my trust in his wisdom to see these things. If you don't trust his wisdom, ma'am, don't marry him. Don't marry him. Period. These are the things that you need to find out when you're getting to know him, though. Again, a man with no order, no boundaries, how is he going to lead you? We only want to follow a leader who does not have any rules or responsibilities. But what are you leading? We want love, but we don't understand how to give that love that we want. Okay? And even when it comes to us relating to each other as sisters, right? And I know it's a hard thing. Well, let me shout out everybody on my IG first. Shalom and shalom to y'all on the IG. Like, share, subscribe. I know I've been talking for a minute, but listen, if you like what I'm saying, you like what we got going on here at the House of Mono, please, $1 or $2 due to the Cash App, $ the House of Mono. Thank you for those who have given already. Thank you in advance for those who will give. Shalom and shalom. All right, so rules. What? See, I forgot the last thing I was talking about. I know I was talking about rules and responsibilities. You can't lead without rules and responsibilities. Ladies, pay attention to how he operates in his day-to-day life and decide if you can handle that, okay? Don't ask the man how he feels about cleanliness. Observe his surroundings. What does his car look like? What does he look like? What do his clothes look like? What does he smell like? I'm not going to ask you what his house look like because I hope that you are not going behind closed doors alone with a man that you are not ready to lay down with. That is the same advice I give my daughters. Don't do it. You have no reason to. Let not your good be evil spoken of. Shun the very appearance of evil if you need, some biblical backup for that. But how many stories of SA and how many stories from the Me Too movement start with he called me into the room or I went into his hotel room with him? So, ma'am, sis, cousin, if you are not ready to lay with that man, there is no reason for you to be behind closed doors with him. Some of y'all probably shouldn't even be in the car with the man. You know yourself, okay? But so instead of asking, look around and see. And for my brothers that are listening, I will offer the same advice when it comes to these women, especially because, and I'm about to tell on us, but we have a way with words. Okay. We have a way with words. All right. So observe her though. Don't ask. Observe. Sis, don't ask. Observe. And don't ask what he wants in a wife. Because he gonna say what he think he's supposed to say. Observe how he reacts to you. Because what do you want in a wife? That's a generalization. That's a list, an imagination. But how he reacts to you will tell you if it's even possible for you guys to be together. Every man can't handle every woman where she is. And by handle, I don't mean that in a I don't mean that in like a degrading way. I mean handle in the sense of being able to have a healthy communication with, have a healthy relationship with. Okay. I don't know why I'm going here, but y'all need to be very cautious of men who are angry. Okay. There are a lot of angry, broken men out here. And for some reason, y'all think anger is sexy. It's not. Okay. It's quite dangerous. And I know a lot of us have dealt with jealous women, but have you ever dealt with a man that is jealous of you, that you're in a relationship with, honey? Will turn your life upside down and make it a living hell. Okay? So again, with your eyes open, making a full assessment before you make a covenant that you are not ready to uphold. Just like the video we just looked at with the mother who's now ready to give the child away. She made a covenant. Them two got together and made a baby. Okay. Now that you're supposed to take care of the baby. They made a covenant that it was not ready to uphold. This happens all the time. It's not gonna stop if only one side is getting the message to make it stop. For years and decades, we've been men, stop leaving your families. Men. When are we going to turn around and say, okay, now we've been talking to them long enough. Maybe it's not all them. And again, I'm not saying that anyone is perfect. That's not what I'm saying at all. But what I'm saying is if more of us as individuals, right, can get ourselves together, now we can reach more. Okay? Because think about it, I'm talking to you, right? You're going to go and talk to another 10 people who are going to go and talk to another 10 people. This is how it's supposed to work. This is how our nation is supposed to grow. But if you're not in a condition to go and talk to 10 other people, then it just stops with you and we never grow anywhere. It's not up to us as women to establish it's not up to us as women to establish the confines of a relationship. That is totally up to the man, okay? And I know I'm not, what do you mean it's totally up to him? It really is. It's his house. The house carries his last name. You change your last name to his. It's up to the man to set the confines, right? A man he already knows pretty much how he wants to run his house. Once it comes that time. Now, for you to have seen this man and his environment and how his behavior, but this is why it's important to take your time. What does the Bible say about proving a friend? Don't be so quick to credit a nigga. Okay, he took you to the Waffle House. That does not even qualify him as anything more than an acquaintance. I mean, no, you have to prove a friend. See a person through at least 4 seasons. Angry, happy, rich, and poor. And sick, 5, and sick. And see how they behave in those situations. But y'all don't give a nigga time to go through those 5 situations. You see him tomorrow, you want to jump on him next week, and then next month you're pregnant and you're crying, talking about why. When the fact of the matter is, if you would have been walking in love for yourself, none of that would have happened. And I'm not talking out the side of my neck. I have no problem admitting that if I would have been loving myself the way that I should have, I would not have made a lot of the mistakes that I made in my life. I wouldn't have. But I know I'm not supposed to say disobedience. I wasn't loving God. I was not. I was not. So how could I love me? And I know, that we preach self-love and how you're supposed. If you don't understand love, what it is, what it's supposed to do, then how can you live in it? How can you be it? How can you claim to exude it? Love is all you need, and God is love, and that's it. Okay. Define love, though. I once heard someone talk about the fruits of the spirit in terms of emotion, and they broke that down as energy in motion, meaning that the inspiration that you get from the Holy Spirit is supposed to inspire the motions that cause you to display this behavior, right? So the love that you receive from the Holy Spirit should inspire you to show love to others. But you don't even understand that showing love to others even that means keeping the law. There's no way around it. You cannot love God. You cannot love God's people. You cannot love God's creation, and I mean yourself, without keeping the law. And before you go around talking about you want to be married, before you go around, can you obey the Most High? Because you're going to have to obey your husband. Okay, you don't want me to say obey. You're going to have to listen to, cooperate with, work with, get along with, however it helps you to say it in your mind. You are going to have to obey your husband. Now, I once he's your husband, I can't say anything. And that's what a lot of y'all don't realize. Because we thinking, "Oh, I can get divorced. This is nothing. We'll just break up if it don't work out." That's the way we're taught to think, right? How many marriages? Over 50%, well over. I don't even know what the percentage is at this point. I could just imagine. But the majority of marriages in this country end in divorce. The majority of your celebrity marriages end in divorce. The people that we've been taught to idolize in this society, they end in divorce. So what do we see all our lives? We'll go together, we'll get married, we'll have some kids, and then when we're tired of this, we're going to go and find someone else. And listen, no shade to people with multiple marriages. This is my third, okay? But if I had been loving myself correctly, if I had been loving the Most High correctly, I wouldn't be on my third marriage. I would have been with my one and only husband. Same for him, because we've known each other since we were 11. So, you know what I'm saying? Like, I would not have went through all of this stuff. Jane Dollars Drip, shalom and shalom. Hey, sis, thank you for joining me. I would not have been through all of those things. I wouldn't have had all that trauma to unpack. Dare I say, a lot of the arguments and strife that my husband and I experienced when we first got married, it wouldn't have been there because I wouldn't have had all that baggage to deal with. See, that I don't know if y'all y'all know I'm a battle rap fan, okay? There's this crew called Bags and Bodies. And it just really just made me think of that. Seriously, like every body you have leaves some baggage. And as much as this, and it's even so bad. Now, I don't know if y'all seen it, but they have over-the-counter birth control pills now. Over the counter. So you just walk into CVS, pick up a birth control pill. They are making it, you have no reason not to have sex now. And that's the way they've made it on purpose. If you ever get a chance to Google the is it the Theosophical Society? Theological Society? The Theosophical Society or something like that. I have to look it up. But they had like these goals that they wanted to reach for turning society away from the Bible. This is a real thing, okay? And one of the goals on there was to free women from the consequences of sex so they can enjoy sex just like men, because sex is the human being's greatest pleasure and they should be able to have it whenever they want to. And so not only do you have the plan B now, so if you do get pregnant, and please be clear, plan B is abortion. Plan B is abortion. Um the reason I'm saying that is because the way that the plan B works, if you don't know, and they used to tell you this, but I know they've changed the explanation now. The way that the plan B works is it causes your uterus to build up a lining, then to shed it. Okay. So that if there were a conceived egg, you would pass it. You would basically have a miscarriage before, And I'm calling it a miscarriage because at the time of conception, that's a person. At the time of conception, that's a person. Okay? So, yes, it's a miscarriage. You miscarried a person. We got to stop playing these games. And we have to be willing to look at the reality of things for what they are, even if we're the ones in the mess. You know what I'm saying? Like, even if you're you need to know what you're doing. And some of y'all might not like me for this. I don't know. I personally used to hate learning new things sometimes because like, dang, now I'm responsible for this information. So yes, now you're responsible for the information. I don't know why I'm saying this, but plan B is abortion. It's not a backup birth control. It doesn't just, oh, you just have a period and that's it. No, it's that. And so now they feel like they've made it possible for women to enjoy sex just like men. And that has been the goal the whole time. So now we're in a place where women can have sex just like men. So why isn't everything better now? Where is the equality at? And I'm just worried for how misled we are. Like I saw a reel on Instagram and it was like two sisters and the sister was like, "Oh, well, if a man try to hit you, who you going to get?" And she went and got her little sister. I was like, "Y'all need to stop playing like this because as soon as a man hits you," and then sure enough, here came a woman replying, "Don't underestimate all women because we can do whatever a man can do." You say until he's beating your skull in, and now you want to cry, domestic violence, this man hit me. And this is why there will never be equality. First of all, it's impossible. It is freaking impossible. We can never all have equally the same things. Are we all going to stand at urinals? We can never be equal to men. I mean, they're bigger than us. They have more muscle than us. Their hearts are bigger than us. Their blood volume is more than ours. Like, they are biologically built different. I almost hate the fact that we are grouped. Hear what I'm saying? I kind of hate that there's like a human class when it comes to scientific distinction. Because I feel like it makes way for all of us to be conglomerated like we are now. What do you mean by conglomerated? Now, well, you have men who walk around living, dressing, pretending to be women full time. Yes, I said pretending. But they do this full time. When the truth of the matter is, it's all play pretend, okay? It's all play pretend. But when you start grouping stuff together, this is what happens. This is, to me, why, in my personal opinion, I'm not saying this is Bible, but in my opinion, this is one of the reasons why it's so dangerous to be lukewarm. Okay? Because think about it. If it's hot, it's hot. I know what this is. This is hot. Everybody can see it's hot. It's hot. If it's cold, it's cold. There's no confusion. Everyone knows that this is cold. Okay? But when you start pouring everything together, some's going to say it's hot. Some going to say it's cold. Some's going to say it's just right. No one knows what it is anymore. Okay, next week we're going to talk more about joy. We're going to continue. You know what? I'm not going to lie to y'all. I'm not going to say what I'm going to talk about next week. I don't want to lie to you guys. All right. I'm going to pray about it. And I'm going to see what the Most High has for me. It's not far from me that could have just been a Bible study for me. Maybe I myself was just supposed to look into the fruit of the Spirit. Maybe I need to polish up on my fruit. Hey, I can't say nothing about that. All praise to the Most High. I'll continue that study, and however I'm led, that's where we'll go. I'm going to stop posting topics. I really am. I'm going to stop posting topics. He's going to let the Most High move when he get here. Listen, okay. Just want to remind you guys, if you like what we're doing here at the House of Mono, you like something I said, $1 or $2 will do. I only got 4 minutes left. $ the House of Mono. If you have not secured your tickets for F3, please visit 3mgmusic.com. 3mg camera 2. I'm on 3mgmusic.com for your F3 tickets. Your sponsors, if you want to sponsor a family, that means you pay for tickets. We will give them to our platform hosts, like here at Why Boaz Don't Want Your Ass, Truth Be Told, NMP Ministries. We will give them away to Israelite families. If you want to donate to the cost of F3, the lights, the stage, the electricity, the all that stuff we have to pay for. If you want to donate to that, please hit the donate tab. That will be a separate donation. If you would like to be a vendor, please hit the vendor tab. Tickets are $10 on the website. They will be $20 at the door. Your kids will have something to do. Are you guys excited? Y'all want to tell them about the fireworks?
Yeah. Head over to F3 for the fireworks.
So yes, we have fireworks. That we're gonna do a great big show at the end of F3. We're super excited, and I just cannot wait for you guys to partake in all this. It is going to be amazing. If you receive your VIP invitation to the meet and greet, I look forward to seeing you there. Tickets will go on sale to the public for that soon. 3mgmusic.com. It's already on sale. 3mgmusic.com. If you want to get those tickets, please dress nice, y'all. Okay, it's a classy affair. Yes. So put on your good stuff. It's not. Okay, I'm sorry. It's not a classy affair. Just come as you are. I apologize. Okay, anything else you guys want to say?
Shalom.
All right. Well, thank y'all so much for hanging out with me tonight. Again, I hope something I said is helpful to you on today or tomorrow, or just when you get some time to think about it. I want to encourage you to please keep the word of the Lord at the forefront of your mind. You love him with all of your heart, all of your mind, and all of your soul. And what's in your heart? Keeping his laws and being obedient to his word, okay? That is in
Doing
the
gang things.
book. Anything else?
Living super clean.
Are we good?
That done came up. Can't control us. One time for the men doing gang things. Dead Fred to the T, living super clean.
All right, good night. Thank you all for hanging out with me. I will see you all next week or somewhere across the interwebs. IG, TikTok, Facebook, at Miss Mono's World. Shalom and shalom and good night.
Shalom.
Ain't messing with your